You are not Mateo Vargas. Mateo Vargas is a ghost. He is a high-level cartel accountant who laundered $300 million through shell companies in Panama, luxury real estate in Miami, and offshore digital accounts. Mateo Vargas is currently sitting in a subterranean, climate-controlled federal bunker in Virginia, eating government-funded meals and waiting to testify before a grand jury. You? You are a 31-year-old former theater actor who owed $80,000 in student loans and was 2 months behind on rent. But you share exactly the same bone structure, the same exact height, the same olive complexion, and the same distinctive, jagged scar above your left eyebrow as Mateo Vargas. The FBI found you. They didn't ask you to act on a stage. They asked you to act for your life. They offered you a job, $10,000 a week. All you have to do is live in a beautiful 4-bedroom modern house in a quiet, affluent suburb of Denver. You drive his silver Mercedes. You wear his expensive, custom-tailored Italian suits. You drink his specific brand of imported espresso on the back patio every single morning at exactly 8 a.m., making sure your face is visible to the street. You are the tethered goat. The cartel wants Mateo silenced before he can talk to the grand jury. The FBI wants the cartel's top hit squad, a phantom crew known only as Los Sombras, the Shadows. The feds have never been able to catch them, so they built an elaborate trap. You are the bait. For 6 months, it has been easy money. You know you are never truly alone. You have a tiny, flesh-colored micro-receiver embedded deep in your ear canal. Every 15 minutes, a voice named Agent Harris whispers, "Overwatch is green. We have eyes on." You know there are federal snipers resting on the roof of the elementary school 3 blocks away. You know the landscaping crew that cuts the grass across the street every Tuesday are tactical operators carrying concealed weapons. You know the delivery van parked at the corner is packed floor to ceiling with thermal imaging and surveillance gear. You feel invincible. The invisible, ironclad armor of the United States government wraps around you. You are playing a role, and the audience is heavily armed. Then comes a Tuesday night in November. A massive freezing storm system has moved over the Rockies, bringing torrential rain and thick, suffocating fog that swallows the neighborhood. You are sitting in the living room, reading a book by the warmth of the fireplace. The grandfather clock in the hallway strikes 11 p.m. You tap your ear, waiting for the routine check-in. "Overwatch, this is Decoy," you whisper. Nothing, just a faint, hollow hum. "Harris, do you copy?" Static, a sharp, piercing hiss of white noise that makes you wince, followed by absolute, dead silence. They are jamming the signal. Before your brain can fully process the silence, the lights in the house flicker. Once, twice. Then the entire neighborhood plunges into absolute, pitch darkness. The low hum of the refrigerator stops. The digital clock on the oven vanishes. The silence is deafening, broken only by the rhythmic, heavy drumming of freezing rain against the glass windows. Your heart turns to ice. You move to the window, keeping your silhouette away from the glass, pressing your back against the cold wall. You peer through a tiny crack in the wooden blinds. The streetlights are dead, but through the thick, swirling fog, you see them. 3 heavy, matte black CUVs rolling down your street. Their engines are barely a low, menacing growl. Their headlights are completely off. They glide to a stop at the edge of your driveway, forming a tactical barricade. The doors open simultaneously. Shadows detach themselves from the vehicles. 6 men. They move with terrifying, practiced precision. No shouting, no rushing. Just the cold, calculated advance of professionals who have done this 100 times before. The FBI isn't coming. The signal is jammed, the power is cut, and the trap has failed. The bait is completely on its own. Panic is a physical weight. It sits heavily in your chest, trying to crush your lungs. But you force it down. You remember the training. The grueling 3-day crash course, the feds gave you before handing you the keys to this life. If Overwatch falls, you become a ghost. You don't run for the front door. You don't grab a weapon. You don't have one. You are a civilian actor in a war zone. You drop to the floor. The sound of shattered glass echoes from the kitchen. They are breaching the rear sliding doors. You hear the heavy, muffled thud of tactical boots stepping onto the hardwood. You crawl toward the master bedroom. The house is a maze you know intimately. You know which floorboards creak. You know exactly how many steps it takes to reach the hallway. Clear the first floor, a voice whispers in Spanish. It is harsh and raspy, carrying through the quiet house. You reach the master closet. You push aside the row of Mateo's expensive suits. At the back of the closet is a heavy oak panel. The FBI installed it on your first day. A secondary egress point, just in case. You press the hidden latch. It clicks, popping open to reveal a narrow fiberglass chute that drops directly into the crawl space beneath the house. You slide in, feet first, pulling the panel shut just as the bedroom door is kicked open. The heavy footsteps vibrate right above your head. Dust falls from the floorboards into your eyes. You hold your breath until your lungs burn. He's not here. Check the perimeter. The voice commands above you. You navigate the tight, dirt-floored crawl space. Spiders and damp earth brush against your face. You reach the heavy iron grate leading to the backyard drainage culvert. You push it open and slide out into the freezing rain. The cold is a violent shock to your system, instantly soaking through your clothes. You are in the deep concrete trench that runs behind the neighborhood. You start moving. Fast, low, and quiet. But Los Sombras are not amateurs. They brought thermal optics. A heavy, suppressed gunshot tears through the night. The concrete right next to your foot explodes, showering you in stinging debris. They have spotted your heat signature. You scramble up the slippery, muddy embankment, diving into the thick line of dense pine trees bordering the suburb. You run. Branches whip against your face, leaving sharp scratches across your cheeks. Your muscles scream in protest. You have never run like this in your entire life. This isn't theater. This is raw, primal survival. You hear them communicating through short, sharp whistle bursts. They are flanking you. They are hunting you like an animal in the deep woods. You need a distraction. You strip off the heavy, expensive jacket you are wearing. It is soaked and holding your body heat. You drape it over a low-hanging branch near a steep, rocky drop-off. You bury yourself in the thick, freezing mud and dead leaves beneath a hollowed-out log 50 feet away. You completely mask your thermal signature with the freezing earth, becoming one with the forest floor. 2 minutes later, footsteps crunch on the pine needles. A shadow looms over the area. The assassin raises his weapon, aiming directly at the warm jacket. He fires 3 suppressed rounds into the fabric. Realizing it's a decoy, he curses under his breath. He turns, his heavy boot planting into the mud mere inches from your face. You close your eyes. You don't breathe. Your heart hammers so loudly against your ribs, you are terrified. He will hear it. He moves on, dissolving back into the fog. You wait until the sound of his footsteps fades completely. You emerge from the mud, shivering uncontrollably, your hands completely numb. You remember the emergency rally point. An old, abandoned water treatment facility 2 miles east through the forest. There is an analog, hardwired distress beacon hidden inside an old utility box. It operates on a separate, buried copper line that cannot be jammed by the cartel's equipment. You push through the pain. You navigate the dark, treacherous woods, guided only by the distant glow of the city grid that is still online miles away. It takes an agonizing hour. An hour of dodging shadows, jumping at every snapped twig, hiding behind massive oak trees as flashlight beams sweep through the fog. Finally, the rusted chain-link fence of the facility appears. You scale it, tearing your clothes, ignoring the sharp pain in your hands, As you grip the wire, you find the rusted utility box on the side of the main building. You smash the heavy padlock with a rock. Inside is a heavy red switch. You pull it. Nothing happens immediately. You slump against the cold brick wall of the facility, exhausted, shivering, waiting for the end. You close your eyes, accepting that you played your part as best as you could. 10 minutes pass. Then you hear a sound, not the quiet crunch of an assassin's boot. It is the heavy, rhythmic, earth-shaking thrumming of a twin-engine Black Hawk helicopter breaking through the fog. Then another, and another. The night sky suddenly ignites with blindingly bright searchlights piercing the darkness. The dark woods light up like the midday sun. Sirens wail in the distance, multiplying, closing in from every single direction. The federal government has finally arrived. Through the fence, you see massive armored vehicles swarming the tree line. Federal agents in full tactical gear pour into the woods. The hunters have just become the hunted. You hear the distant shouts of surrender. The trap finally snapped shut. 3 weeks later, the freezing rain and the dark woods are 1,000,000 miles away. You are sitting on a pristine, white sand beach. The sky is a brilliant, cloudless blue. The gentle, rhythmic sound of crushing waves washes over you. Agent Harris is sitting in a folding beach chair next to you, wearing an incredibly bright, uncomfortable-looking Hawaiian shirt and cheap sunglasses. He reaches into his bag and hands you a thick, heavy manila envelope. Los Sombras are in maximum security federal custody, Harris says, taking a sip from a very colorful tropical drink. Every single one of them. Mateo testified yesterday. The cartel's entire financial network is completely dismantled. The threat is neutralized. You did it, kid. You held them off just long enough. You open the envelope. Inside is a brand new passport with a new name, the deed to a beautiful house on the coast, and a bank statement. You look at the number at the bottom of the statement. It is staggering. $2 million. A hazard bonus for surviving the night the grid went down. You're free, Harris says, standing up and dusting the sand off his shorts. No more Mateo Vargas. No more targets on your back. You get to be whoever you want to be now. The curtain is closed. You look out at the endless, glittering ocean. You take a deep, long breath of the warm, salty air. Your student loans are gone. The constant, looming danger is gone. You played the hardest, most terrifying role of your entire life, and you survived to take the final bow. You smile, tossing your old government burner phone into the ocean breeze, watching it sink into the surf. The nightmare is over. The greatest performance of your life was a massive success, and the rest of your beautiful, completely free life begins today.